right. Welcome to the Pivot Table. So, this is real talk for leaders and professionals who are ready to realign, reimagine, or redefine what success means. I'm Raveen Houghton. I'm the host, and I'm also a consulting psychologist and COO at DRI Consulting. And welcome, Makisha and Amma.
Thanks, Raveen. It's great to be here at the Pivot Table today. I'm Makisha Spence, as you mentioned. I'm a psychologist by training and CEO at DRI Consulting, and I'm excited to talk with you and Amma today. Amma, who are you?
Yeah, thank you all for having me. I'm so excited about this. Been looking forward to it for a while. So I'm a Brew, life balance strategist and mental health coach, and looking forward to see where this conversation takes us.
Awesome.
So, let's talk about current reality and what's really happening and what's kind of brought us to this point. So the why this, why now for the pivot table. Makisha, do you want to kick us off with that?
Yeah, sure. So, one of the things that we've been observing in our practice is the challenge that professionals and leaders are facing around job satisfaction, feeling fulfilled in their roles. We're seeing persons who are just burnt out and frustrated and not sure where to turn, what to do next. And we do support for persons who find themselves in that situation through coaching and psychometric assessments and that kind of thing. But we thought it would be good to look at creating some kind of product or service that would just help with that kind of uncertainty and frustration. So what we're talking about today is, what does it mean to be in that position? What does it feel like? And how do we help move the needle from this place of perhaps despair, frustration, distress to a point of fulfillment and joy? And having been on that journey myself, it's particularly special to me because I have been there where I've just felt overwhelmed by work, where I don't find meaning and fulfillment in it. And I had to figure out, how do I get to a place of happiness and contentment in my life and particularly my career? What about you, Emma?
Yes. As you talk about that, what comes to my mind is, when you get to that place in your career where there's that internal struggle. You've worked so hard to be here. This was 5 years ago. This was the dream. You imagined it. You were so excited about it, right? And you worked so hard for it, but you're here and you feel hollow and
Yeah.
you feel so empty. And it feels like, am I even on the right trajectory? And was it even worth it? That is when you know that, well, maybe it's time to reassess
Yeah.
because probably you've grown so much and what used to be so fulfilling and exciting is not exciting you anymore.
Hmm.
So for me, when I think about the whole idea of pivot, that's what comes to my mind. The idea of how do you realign yourself
Yeah.
to where you're at now? Because
Hmm.
as you work towards where you are, you've grown. And so what was fulfilling and internally satisfaction, gave you that internal satisfaction, doesn't work anymore,
Hmm.
right? And it doesn't
Yep.
mean that you failed. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not a failure. It's just that you've grown so much, and probably it's time to stop, pause, reassess,
Hmm.
realign, take the next best steps towards where you're going to go the next 5 to 10 years. So that's what really comes to my mind. And I have been there so many times. And I've
Yeah.
seen that as I do that, what happens is that now you look back and you see how you've grown because
Hmm.
every 5 years, there's some growth that happens. So that's what comes to my mind as you share all that.
Yeah. The other thing I think about as well is, some of us grow up in contexts where there is a narrative about who they should be and who they should show up, how they should show up. And I found that though that pressure can sometimes be overwhelming, it can be the defining factor in the career choice that we make. And so sometimes we follow other people's directives about how we should live our lives We check all the boxes, we do all of the things we were told would make us successful. And then, having done all of that, we realize actually this does not align with who I am at all. I don't even know how this fits with my personality or my interests. And so sometimes, we are successful by others' standards, but we are misaligned with who we are, the core of ourselves. And so it's figuring out, well, who am I really? What's my personality? What are my interests? And what actually brings me joy? And how do I connect that to a career? And it may look very, very different from what people think is normal or appropriate or right, but it's really what's right for us. So I think that's a very big consideration too in this whole pivot conversation.
Yep.
In
Yeah.
addition to that,
Yeah.
loneliness is also a big part of it too, because as you're going through that internal struggle and trying to figure out which direction should I go in, what resources should I be leveraging, there may also be that deeper sense of, well, I'm feeling really alone in this. I'm
Mm.
not sure who to turn to, who to lean on, whose voice to listen to, because I've been listening to all of these other voices and they've been guiding me down this particular career path or another.
Mhm.
I'm still not feeling fulfilled. So one of the reasons why we decided to create the Pivot program is because we wanted to create that sense of community and give people a place that they can turn to for support. So not just for the resources and the tools and the assessments, but have actual people that they can connect with who are on a similar journey so that they can lean on and leverage not just now, but in the future, and to create that community on a broader scale for others going forward.
Yeah. I think the other thing that comes to mind is to normalize the pivot. As Amma was
Hmm.
saying, sometimes we have been on the journey to where we really genuinely believed we wanted to be and found fulfillment in it. But because we've grown, we are at a different place. And very often we get the side eye when we say, I want to do something completely different. I gone through this journey and now I feel like I need to just completely change the direction that I'm going in. And too often we stigmatize that. We talk about midlife crises and we talk about, wasting time and we talk about, falling down the career ladder if we start over. And I think one of the things that we really hope to do through the work that we're doing together is to say it's okay. If you have 3 pivots, if you have 4 pivots, it's okay. It's really what is meaningful to you and what brings you that sense of contentment in your life and creating that integration between work life and all of the other areas that we are invested in. And that pivot could look very different for different people.
Yep. Yeah. And it's interesting, you said something like starting over, but for me, I don't even see it as you're starting over because
Mm.
when you're pivoting, you're actually bringing all the experience that you
Yeah,
have
that is
and
very
you're going to
true.
take it into the next.
Yeah,
So it's not even really starting over. It's actually building on what you already have.
yeah,
Or trying
absolutely.
to kind of like rebrand, right?
Yeah.
Or repackage the
Hmm.
experiences and the learning and everything that you have, till now into the next,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's
about
so true.
facilitating.
Yeah. Go ahead, Raveen.
It's about facilitating that mindset shift, not thinking
Exactly.
of yourself as stuck or needing to start from zero, but more so
Yeah.
you've got all of these experiences and now you're going to take them and tailor a new path for yourself. So it's really powerful.
Yeah. What that brings to mind too is so often we discount some of the skills and experiences we've had. I've had so many people who I've worked with who don't recognize the skill sets around parenting and the skill
Yeah.
sets around managing a home or the skill sets around looking after an elderly parent or all of those types of experiences help us to develop not only resilience but to also develop skill sets that are transferable when we decide that we want to pivot. So I think also helping us to interrogate all of that life experience and draw from that all the strengths that we've accumulated and also the learnings along the way, because failure is a good thing. When we've failed, when we've made mistakes, those are also awesome learning experiences that can help us develop those skills. So I think bringing all of that together can be really powerful.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm excited about Pivot because, I was saying the other day that we are not, it's not just the usual career coaching, right? We are looking at this holistically, right? What are your values? What brings you joy? Where are you at in life? Even in terms of taking care of you,
Hmm.
right? How do we look at you holistically, right? And come up with a plan of the next. So
Yes,
I'm so excited about it. Yeah.
absolutely. And I think what is a good starting point if you find yourself in that position where you have some experience under your belt, perhaps you have been in a career for a long time and you're feeling misaligned and you want to get curious about what might a new career or a new direction or a new hobby look like, this is a
Mhm.
good opportunity just to join us for an information session to talk about that, to have a community around you that will support you and maybe ask you some challenging questions. And of course, because we are all three of us on this call are science practitioners, we bring a lot of experience in psychology, in human resources, in coaching, and we can bring all of that to bear in a conversation with you and a few other like-minded people. So if that's something that's of interest to you, check out the information sessions that are coming up in September, and we can put the details in the description below. Feel free to check those out and sign up if you think that would be of help to you. And if you're still not sure, we actually created a free tool, which is the Pivot Readiness tool. And it's a really thoughtful reflection tool that you can use to figure out where am I right now? What are the things I need to think about to help me figure out if I really am feeling misaligned? And if I am I ready to take that step and to change direction, consider a new trajectory, a new journey? So that's a tool that will make available to you as well. And that will be linked in the description. So you can click on that link and access that tool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna